So as we've discussed AI and cyber, very broad topic, kind of narrowing it down for students, what are they going to learn in this course?
So I think that there's really a couple elements of this. I think the biggest thing they're going to learn is how to learn these types of technical concepts. So that is a big thing, which is the number one tip, whether you take this course or take someone else's, is that you have to get a foundational understanding, a context for your brain anytime you're dealing with such major topics. So the first thing that we do is talk about that. Like, you're going to be overwhelmed. You'd be overwhelmed in just our cyber class. Now we're adding AI. It's like, So how do you take that on and really move forward? So that's the first thing, and probably the biggest thing, because coming out of this class, this is a journey, right? You're going to have more to do to become an expert. So learning those techniques are big. Then specifically from an AI perspective, there's really kind of three elements that we're going to look at. From an AI perspective, I think there's really a couple things that you're going to get. I think the first is really, how does AI just in general use data and processes in order to do what it does? So I think that's a big thing. I think the second thing from an AI perspective is really, how does it take that information and those processes and then create new things? Because that's really a big element of AI. It's creating new things. So how is it doing that? Whether it's doing that through machine learning or however is the case, that's something that we're going to give you that foundational understanding to understand that. And then the third thing that's a real advantage for people that are looking to really move into this discipline is that we're also going to cover base system engineering and how to get and build systems that can actually handle the loads that AI needs, right? AI is processing a lot of data and it's doing a lot. So it needs processors, it needs what we call technical infrastructure, servers, processors, network infrastructure, to actually be able to move the data and then process it and do stuff with it. So we're going to talk about that, and that's a real advantage for folks, because those basics haven't changed in a long time, and businesses need those people right now because everyone is building AI. So that's AI and implementing it into their environment. So that's really on the AI side. Then you have the cybersecurity side. So cybersecurity also uses data and uses processes, and we focus in both of these in the course from a business perspective. So how do you actually go into an organization and let people understand, like, the security program and team, like, what do they do in an organization? How do they actually apply that? In line with that, what does like a corporate technical environment look like at a business? You can't secure something until you know what it is. Yeah. So we talk about that, especially for people that have never seen really a corporate environment. So those two elements is a big part of cyber, and we look at that. And then in line with that, we'll also look at, from a technical perspective, the preventive safeguards and detective safeguards that you need to put in place in order to protect those things that I just talked about. Preventive prevents bad things from happening, and detective detects when bad things happen. So those are the two in isolation. Now the third thing is that you also have AI moving into cybersecurity and into the program perspective. So from that, we're going to look at how are modern security programs and security teams using AI to automate some of those preventive and detective safeguards that I just talked about. And so there's specific roles and uses of AI in the security program. The final thing that's really kind of dovetails across both is, if you talk to leaders right now, the biggest concern with AI is that their intellectual property or their confidential data is going to get out through this use of AI. Well, that's also something we care a lot about in cybersecurity. So in many ways, aside from creating with AI, the biggest thing that organizations and business leaders care about is protecting their business in using AI. And that's done in many ways through what we do in cybersecurity. So again, learning those together is really it really makes sense in that light, and also it gives a top of mind thing to the students that businesses really care about, and hopefully can get you into work faster.
I'm really excited about this for our adult students. You really need to come check out this class. You can learn more by attending one of our information sessions and really, asking even more questions that you might have. This is one of quite a few videos that Mike and I have done to talk about the AI cyber course. If you have questions, that's what the information sessions are for. Make sure you check those out. You can find the links in the comments below.